Bright Suns, travelers. How is everybody?
Bright Suns,
doing?
everybody. Welcome in.
Good to see you in the chat. Let's see. We got Jonathan. Welcome in, Jonathan. Thanks so much for being here. Dean the Turkey Legster, who has a snack with him, is okay. If it's not turkey legs, is it at least turkey leg shaped? Dean, that would be like Mickey shaped food in the parks. You should eat turkey leg shaped food, I think, don't you? Thanks for being here, guys. We really appreciate it. I think the Mandalorian just keeps getting better and better. What do you think, William?
The Book of Boba Fett, yeah.
Well, here we go. Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, and I'll just move along from that Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
We did say spoilers were coming up, but yeah, we appreciate y'all being here. Oh, Tina, welcome in.
Welcome
Good to
in,
see
Tina.
you. Great to see you. Appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. This is episode 4. It's chapter 4, season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett. It's called The Gathering Storm. This episode is called The Gathering Storm, and it has a runtime of 48 minutes. So we are looking forward to talking about it. Up to now, I think it's the action. I think the biggest complaint I have seen, William, from people is that it's a little slow.
Yeah.
Especially the first one. That never really bothered me a whole lot. I thought with the content they were dealing with, getting us cranked up and kind of telling us what happened and how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, giving us the backstory, that didn't really bother me a whole lot.
Yeah.
But with this one, we're fully engaged, I'd say.
Yeah, safe to say.
We're fully engaged now, and so this episode was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Miko made an appearance and knocked everything off my desk real quick. So, there was an avalanche. Granted, there's too much stuff on my desk anyway, but yeah, he didn't make it any better. So some of it started to slide off. So I've got things stacked up, and I need to put them away, and it's organized chaos right now because I know where things are, and I need to put them away. But that's beside the fact. That's not what people are here for.
Well, I had a very dear friend come into my office once. Things pile up, and I'm usually not too bad about piling stuff up. But they get that way. And a very dear friend of mine came, and I was kind of embarrassed into my office. This is when I worked for the school district, and I said, "You know what, Dawn?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "You need to learn to stack better."
That's funny. No, stacking is not. Stacking's not my problem. It's that the stacks are here, and we have a cat that decides to pick the most inopportune time to make a ruckus
to get in the in the mix. All right, well, let's jump.
All right, let's get moving.
We're really enjoying Book of Boba Fett, and chapter 4 is no different. Our opening scene is Boba's palace, and he's in the Bacta-pod.
Yep. And
so we know that we're probably going into another flashback. Just going to give us some more backstory. He is riding a bantha across the Dune Sea, and he is in his. It kind of gives you a time frame there because he is in his Tuscan Raider robes, and he checks the guards at Jabba's palace. So
he scouts it out, trying to figure out how heavily guarded it is. He even talks to the bantha. It's really funny, the interaction between Boba and his bantha in this episode.
And really, an animal person, right?
Yeah. We seem to have gathered that between his interactions here with the bantha and the interaction with the Rancor as well.
Right.
But it's just funny because and you have to think about it too. The bantha is really kind of his last connection to the Tuscan tribe, unfortunately.
That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
And so, he says, "Not today, old girl. Still too many guards."
Pam, welcome.
So it's at nighttime. It shows 3 moons over Tatooine, which I think is interesting.
Okay, I caught that too. We've normally only
so we have twin sons, and I guess they have three moons. I guess.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah.
But Boba and the bantha are eating food cooked over a campfire. It's funny because the bantha licks its lips and he shares his food with it. And it's just like a big dog. You see it wag its tail and it burps after it eats the food. So really, really funny there.
Yeah, good interaction. Funny. Yeah, he's as I said, really, I mean, anybody who could be affectionate with a rancor is definitely an animal lover. I think of Betty White. Betty White is probably the only other person on the planet who would cuddle with a rancor. So, so Kevin, welcome in.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
We see distant explosions while which. It's funny because we've seen this before, and we kind of get brought into the know here, but we see two distant flares are shot off in the distance to blind Fennec. So we know this from the Mandalorian, but now we're seeing it happen from Boba's perspective, where he is with the bantha at the time all this happens. So all that happened in Chapter 5 of the Mandalorian. The Gunslinger's the name of that episode. Din Djarin, Mando, and Toro Calican. Somebody who's a young gun that's trying to get into the guild, are both headed after Fennec, and obviously she's got her sniper and it's nighttime, so they fire the flares to blind her from sniping them. But that's Boba rides the bantha in to investigate, and we get the scene from that episode where the boots are walking over to Fennec.
Right. And when we watched that episode of The Mandalorian, we had no idea who
the boots were.
And so you just had to guess at who that might be that walks over to Fennec to check her. And, later on, we find out that it was Boba Fett.
And so Boba picks up Fennec and loads her up on the bantha, takes her to the modifier. Kind of a cyberpunk vibe here. That's
very much so.
Video game.
Yeah.
You see people with various modification. One guy's got like little circle things and like a big like visor over his eyes. The various modifications. I tried to translate the Arabesh on the door of this place, and I got the letter U, and then I can't make out the next two letters, and then it's ELT. It kind of looks like PO or PW. It's hard, like the two letters are squished together, and and so I was trying to translate it, but I got U, either PO or PW, ELT, which doesn't spell. It's kind of nonsensical. It doesn't actually spell anything. So
so not sure what that is. Yeah,
maybe it's an abbreviation. Who knows?
Could be. This is kind of different. This is a different. It's like we said. It's a big universe, and there are a lot of different different people out there. This introduces us to a
lot of people made a big kerfuffle about this scene and also the modifiers in general. People were really upset about it, but again, it's a big galaxy. And so just because we haven't seen it on screen before doesn't mean that it can't exist.
It's not there.
Same thing with the shiny speeder bikes that it's jarring. The electronic
the colored speeder bikes.
And the electronic dance music that plays during the modifying scene that happens. I was like, this is completely different musically than we've ever heard in Star Wars before.
But it really is. But what I thought about it, and I'll be honest with you, the primary colors on the speeder bikes were that was the first time we'd really seen any primary colors in Star Wars. And so I was a little bit jarred by that too. But excuse me.
People, I said this to Mom yesterday. Nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans, and so
it's true.
And so they're the most critical because they are so diehard. They're the most critical of the product as well,
and protective. Of,
and so it's like, okay, let's take a deep breath here.
Right.
It can exist. Like just because you haven't seen it before in Star Wars doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Exactly. Well, I had several takeaways from this scene.
Yeah.
I thought, these modifiers who modify their bodies with sometimes radically, like replacing limbs with electronics and machinery, put me in mind of the Borg from Star Trek. Any of you Trekkies out there know what I'm talking about with Star Trek and the Borg. The other piece that I thought about was, okay, when Boba Fett walks into the mod parlor, and that's what they call them, a mod parlor.
I call it a mod parlor.
First thing you think of is tattoo parlor, right? Which is, I think, where your brain is supposed to go. That's the suggestion. And it's filled with young people. And the first thing the modifier asks is, "Aren't you a little old to be in here?"
Yeah.
So this is like a young thing. It's a teenage thing. It's a piece of the culture that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, this is gonna, the mods that ride the bikes and are now, helping Boba Fett.
Yeah.
It adds another facet, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. It's different. I'm okay with them doing something different. Boba, the main modifier, you see him putting like a little device on the girl's spine, is actually a musical artist, a songwriter, and now actor, named Thundercat, which I'd never heard of him, but prior to this moment, but I'd seen some people mention it on social media, and also Adam had listened to a song by Thundercat just the other day.
Yeah.
Which
of course puts me in mind of the cartoon.
Thundercat.
That would have been Stevens. That would have been my eldest son's. His generation. Or his era. The
but the modifier tries to brush him off, but Boba has a lot of credits. He says, "Well, you should have started with that." And he goes to work.
He said she's dying, and he talks.
So you hear like this electronic dance music and kind of beeping noises and stuff playing.
And it's an interesting. It
sounds
scene.
So. There's a song from the Matrix soundtrack that's Roller Coaster, and so that's what it kind of musically reminded me of.
It also put me in mind of the Matrix.
And so he has different hand attachments. So he's going to work on Fennec, trying to save her. We see, he puts in these hydraulics in kind of her gut. Plugs up the tubes, and you see like the blood
he
flow.
He replaces everything in her abdomen. Because she's taken a gut shot from this young would-be bounty hunter
guild member. But yeah, so you see all these different, him go to work on her. You see all these different cool hand attachments. As he needs the tools that he needs to do the work. And then you see the tubes get plugged up, and Boba says, "Aren't you going to close her up?"
And he leaves her abdomen open, exposed. Yeah. And I thought, that's got to be bad. That's got to be bad to keep the sand out, right?
And he says, "And cover up all that beautiful machinery," is what the modifier says.
Yeah. He's saying, "I'm going to install this and then cover it up," because obviously, if you're going to have, when the kids have this done, apparently the young people have this done.
They're proud
of it, so they're not going to cover. They're going to cover it up
because they spent a lot of money on it. Is what they said.
Exactly, Jonathan.
So Fennec comes to around the campfire with Boba and the Bantha. He brings her up to speed. He basically says, "You were dead," and took you to the mod parlor. Yeah, saved your life.
It's the best I can do under the circumstances.
Yeah, and gives her a black melon. Says it'll help her recover. He said it takes some getting used to. But he said, but in time you start to crave it. And Boba knows who she is, which she immediately kind of kind of brushes at. But
Jedi Dick Sensel, welcome in. Thanks for being here.
Fennec assumes that he saved her to get a higher bounty payout. She offers to double it, but Boba says, "I don't want money." Yeah, there you go. Brings her up to speed. You were dead. Right. LOL. Best line ever.
Right. Yeah. It was fun.
And so anyway, Boba says, "I don't want money." And Fennec, asks who he is because she doesn't recognize him. He says, "I'm Boba Fett." She says, "Boba's dead." And he
So
says, "I
his
was."
reputation obviously precedes him.
Uh-huh.
Fennec has her. Of course, they're in the same business, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so anyway, he says, he says, I was. He says I was left for dead on the sands of Tatooine. He was rescued by the Sand People, which some people have said, is Sand People kind of a derogatory term? And I don't think it is, because Boba uses it here after having been taken in as one of their own.
Yes.
By the Tuscan Raiders. So I think that puts that to rest.
I think it does too. Yeah. Because at this point, Boba Fett is a Tuscan Raider. I mean, technically, he was taken in by the tribe. He was, he went through their rituals. He has his own gaffy stick. So at this point, they're family to him. I would go that far, is to say they were family to him.
Yeah, the sensei said like a bantha. Yeah, that scene had me rolling. Jared sent me that in a Snapchat video the other day. It's like a bantha. Yeah. Really funny moment.
It was cute.
The previous episode.
That was good.
As he was teaching them to ride the speeder bikes,
but and then he got nothing. It was like crickets.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, maybe not."
Also, too. So he was rescued as one of rescued by the Tuscans, taken in as one of their own, tried to help them, but they got massacred by Nikto speed bikers, is what Boba says. And Fennec, she's like, I doubt that.
And I caught that too, William, because they always throw in some foreshadowing, that kind of tells you maybe what's coming up, or this, they're going to circle back to this. And she says,
if I had to guess, it was probably the Pikes that framed the Nikto speeder bike gang,
because
go ahead.
She's skeptical. She says Tuscans killed by speed bikers, not likely. So she's very skeptical of that.
So I think they probably framed I think that the Pike Syndicate probably framed the gang because they didn't want to pay the extra toll. So that's my guess. Boba wants Fennec to help him recover the fire spray gunship. So the fire spray is actually the ship class name.
Yes.
And so what is it? The Millennium Falcon's a Corellian light freighter, I believe. And so that's the name of the ship class. And I know that Disney, seemingly and Star Wars too, have seemingly tried to distance from the ship's original name, which was Slave One.
Slave One. It's always been Slave One. It's been Slave One from the very beginning. And to me, it's always going to be Slave One. Yeah.
And so Star Wars legends say that there were only 6 of those that fire spray ship made in the galaxy. So that may explain the number. So
that's why he wants it back.
And so, sorry here, my computer went to sleep on me, so my ring light went out. But Boba says, Fennec's like, all right, where is it? Boba says it's in Jabba's palace, which, at this point, she's able to help bring him up to speed, and says that Bib Fortuna took over the territory. And she says, if that ship is yours, or if the ship is yours, why don't you just ask for it back? Which made me think of, we talked about Spider-Man No Way Home the other day. It made me think of Doctor Strange asking Peter if he pleaded his case with the Admissions Council.
That's true.
And so
ask.
And so anyway, Boba says, because I might not like the answer. And he also says, without my armor, I'm less persuasive. So Fennec agrees to help,
and I thought that is true.
That is also true.
Like Rocket.
And so Fennec agrees to help if her debt is considered paid afterwards, and Boba agrees to the terms. We see both of them ride off to. So we see Boba and Fennec ride off to Jabba's palace at that same place that Boba had been before to scout it out. Fennec scouts at this time and she sees the ship. She's like, "Oh, it's definitely there."
Fennec is all in. I'll have to say, these obviously Boba Fett has been a bounty hunter. Mando is a bounty hunter. Which we would think of as being less than honorable. They're shady, what characters or whatever. But there seems to be
there's a code.
There's a code. And Finnick, realizes, hey, this guy did
more like guidelines, to quote pirates.
Yeah. More like guidelines anyway. But yeah, so there is definitely a loyalty there, and lines that you do not cross. And Finnick, she signs. I mean, she's all in. She could not be more all in. Boba actually gets into the palace successfully because of her.
Yep.
So, and he realizes from her name and her reputation that if this is the Finnick Shin that he's heard of, he needs her help.
Yep.
So know when to ask for help.
Exactly. And so anyway, they're not sure how many guards there are, but Finnick pulls like a small ball-shaped drone that floats into the palace undetected, and ends up coming back and giving them a map of the palace and the guards.
Yeah, I'm thinking which is the best set of binoculars ever.
Yeah, right? It's awesome. Hard to beat that as a tool, especially if you're a bounty hunter. But Boba, we see him release his bantha as they're waiting for that droid to come back. He goes to release his bantha, and the bantha licks him, and he says, "It's time to say farewell, old friend. I know I'm going to miss you too, girl." He's kind of petting the bantha, and it was funny. He says, "Now go find other banthas, make baby banthas."
Right.
And he throws like a big hunk of meat away, and he said, "You're free to roam the Dune Sea." Which
definitely an animal lover.
Yeah, absolutely.
Betty White would approve. Betty White
would approve. Finnick says, "Shouldn't you wait until you get your ship back before you do that?" And Boba says, "Why? Either I die, or either I'll get it or I'll die." He said, "Soon you'll be free too." And
logical.
And Finnick wants
flawlessly logical.
Yeah, what's next for him? He says, "I'm going to find my armor. Then I'm going to kill that bloated pig that double-crossed me and take his throne." And so Finnick asked him, "You want to head a Gatra," which I guess is a crime family, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't look up the term. He says, "Why not?" She says, "You're a hunter." So, very much you could see like Finnick hasn't thought past, her life as a bounty hunter. That's like that. That's just who she is.
Yeah. Well, and she said it does raise her eyebrow, when she says, "You want to head a Gatra," and she, she says, people like us, don't get to decide when we get out of this business.
When we're finished, so pretty much you die or somebody carries out their bounty on you.
Right.
So that you don't seemingly get the happy ending as as a bounty hunter.
She seems to be kind of resigned to that. So maybe obviously Boba's offer later on appeals to her. Because maybe maybe we could do something a little different. Same song, different verse, right?
So let's see. Boba says, "I'm tired of working for idiots who are going to get me killed." And he said he is ready to leave. He was ready to leave him behind after his time with the Tuscans. He tells her that they took me in as one of their own. But the scout droid returns, shows a map of the palace and the guards. Boba says there's too many guards. Finnick says then we time their patrol and go in quiet. So it turns into a stealth mission. We see Gamorreans outside of the gate where the ship's being kept. So they sneak in through the sewer. We see Finnick break out this really cool like little laser cutter and cuts through the grates. They go into the sewer. And then the next scene, we see a kitchen and we see a couple of cooks. We got a chef droid and a sous chef droid, which is actually, one of them stirring the pot and knocks the little critter back into the frog-looking thing back into the pot. And the other one is holding like a ton of meat cleavers, like just chopping up. Chopping up
multiple arms.
Yeah, 6 arms, 2 legs. But anyway,
multitasker.
They hear the noise that Boba and Finnick climb up through the grate to get out of the sewer into the kitchen, and the sous chef sees the grate moved and says, starts to say, contact security, and then Finnick knocks out the Fennec and Boba knock out the sous chef droid. And then Boba comes face to face with the chef droid, who pulls all 6 arms up, very much looking like General Grievous, wielding a bunch of meat cleavers. And
they're all spinning.
And they're all spinning and everything. And so it reminded me of General Grievous, but it also reminded me of the scene from Indiana Jones, the swordsman scene, where he does and again, both of them are done by Lucasfilm. So very well could have been a very subtle reference to that, but he starts slinging the meat cleavers around, and then
so it's like, oh my gosh, we're fixing to get a great big fight. No.
And unceremoniously, Fennec just slices the head off of the chef.
Falls right in the salad plate. So cute.
But there's a small droid called an LEP droid that walks in, and Boba chases around the kitchen.
I thought this droid was so cute. Dio is a really cute droid. Dio from Rise of Skywalker. And I thought this little droid was so cute. But he's got to go because he could raise the alarm. So they got to capture this little sucker.
Boba picks it up and goes it says, "Do you know who I am?" And then it like cries and then turns itself off. Boba drops
panics
in a container. This is really funny.
Yeah. And Fennec is standing there going, it's like she's going, "What are you doing? Why are you talking to this droid?
Are you done? Are you finished?"
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go now.
So they head to the hangar completely undetected. We hear the Boba music kind of play. Kind of get a little bit of that.
It's really fun to see Slave One sitting there in the hangar. It's pretty cool to see.
So we have eyes on it again.
It was cute.
We see Boba and Fennec fight the Gamorreans. The alarm sound, more guards show up. Fennec takes on the guards while Boba tries to board the ship. He gets into the ship, cranks it back up.
Fight scene, pretty good, pretty. It's
Fennec's a beast. I like Fennec is Fennec is top notch assassin. Like she can handle herself, no question.
She's not called a master assassin for no reason.
For nothing. Yeah,
she is. She's very resourceful. She's tough.
Thinks on her feet too.
Yeah, as she thinks on her feet, she's and she's been modified, so that really makes you wonder if that did help her.
That's enhanced her at all. Yeah,
right.
That's a really good point.
Right, she may be even more deadly with the enhancements.
So she fires a shot into a gonk droid at one point and blows up the gonk droid and knocks a bunch of the guards
back. General Grievous with a chef hat. Excuse me.
But Fennec fires another sniper shot. So they're trying to work it out because obviously, the fire spray gunship flies vertically versus horizontally like the Falcon does. And so it's laying down horizontally. And so it's not like they could just, go ahead and stand it up and fly it out because of the way where it's stored in the hangar.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Yeah, they have to get it out in a horizontal position.
But
to do that, you got to get the hangar door open.
Exactly. So Fennec just really kicks a lot of tail in this scene. Beats up Gamorreans. She's handling business while Boba's basically flying around blind and can't even use his guns because they're jammed. And so anyway, he needs the gate open so they can get the ship out and get out of there. But Fennec, figures out, takes a sniper shot, drops the gate lock, and they're able to fly it out of there. But they kind of scrape it up a little bit inside the hangar.
Yeah.
But it's a really good scene.
Right.
And
it is an excellent scene. Yeah.
She fires kind of a last second shot as the ramp is closing, and hits it to open the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool.
So we see the ship fly out, leaving the palace. Fennec says, "Next time we stick to the plan." Boba says, "Next time." So then, she's like, you probably need some work done on your ship. There are some good workers, technicians, repair people. I can't remember what term she used,
right.
But says that, you could take it to Mos Eisley and have him work on it.
Mm-hmm.
But Boba says, I'll do the maintenance myself. There's an advantage to people thinking you're dead. So technically, they're both dead.
Yeah, they are. They're both dead.
Granted that the guards could have noticed Finnick, but they wouldn't be able to notice Boba because he doesn't have his armor on. So Boba asks,
his dress totally different at this point, so they may not know him.
So Boba says, you're pretty much you're free now. Your debt's been paid. Where do you want me to drop you? And she asks what's next for him, and he says, I've got a few scores to settle. And she says, I'll go along for the ride.
Yeah, true bounty hunter fashion. I'm gonna even it up here.
The Nikto biker gang is the next thing we see riding out over the sands of the Dune Sea, and they don't ride on there for long.
No, they don't.
The slave one comes up behind them, and they get blasted and also blown up with a rocket shot as well. So very handily taken care of. Interesting look. There's no dialogue, but there's a couple of nonverbal looks shared between Finnick and Boba. Like, do you feel better now? It is almost how I read it.
She gives him the thumbs up. She says, okay, that's one. That's one.
So next thing they do is they fly to the Sarlacc pit. We see the which and at this point Boba doesn't realize his armor isn't down there. But they go to the Sarlacc pit looking for Boba's armor, and we see the remains next to the pit of Jabba's barge.
Yes. Yes.
And they fly.
Luke and company blew it up. This is interesting to me that he, a lot of people have said, well, this is a mistake, because he realized when the Jawas stole his armor and pulled, but this is, it's a mistake. It's not a mistake.
Yeah. I would say it was complete
so
exhaustion.
Out of it.
Yeah.
When they pulled him, when he escaped the Sarlacc pit and he's in his armor. I mean, obviously
he got knocked out by Jawas. He's not at a good place.
No, he
burning from acid is
right.
Struggled his way to get out, climbing through the sand to get out of
easily not know Sarlacc. What happened to his armor.
Yeah, exactly.
That was listed in as a goof, and I thought that's not a goof.
No,
he could easily not remember that the Jawas stole his armor, which is of course then how it ends up, in
Cobb Vanth's hands.
Cobb Vanth's hands. Exactly. We know the rest of that story from
So
all coming together. All puzzles are falling in place.
Exactly. So anyway, there's a struggle. They kind of use a flashlight. They can't see anything. They're flying horizontally over the pit, with the cockpit looking down into the Sarlacc and looking around, and then they end up waking up the Sarlacc, and it grabs the ship, and the guns on the slave one are at the bottom, and so they're in a tight spot. But Finnick thinks on her feet, unbuckles herself, pushes the button to drop a seismic charge into the Sarlacc pit, and that's she says, "Fire in the hole."
Welcome.
And that's all we see of the Sarlacc after that.
That's it. Yeah, the Sarlacc may be, the Sarlacc may be.
Welcome in, Jeff and Ange.
Maybe no more. But that's the only way they can get away. So
takes a big bite out of a seismic charge. I'd say it's probably done for her. Boba very, very comically says, "Next time, don't push my buttons."
Yeah.
after bailing them out of the situation,
she kind of gives him one.
But Boba, goes down to the pit to look for his armor. He gets pulled back out via rope. Finnick tells him that the acid's going to burn him. That the armor, served its purpose. That she's trying to wash some of the acid off of him, pour some water on him. Says he needs to find a bacta tank is what he needs.
That's what she says. Yeah.
Next thing it happens, like cuts kind of nighttime again. Finnick asks about him starting his own house again. Picks up that conversation again. They're eating scurrier, which I guess is the little rat thing that we saw caught by the by the bird and then the frog animals, and then in a couple episodes ago. But Boba says, his response is plenty of jobs could have been avoidable if they just thought. So Boba's thinking, I can outsmart them. And he said more money could have been made. Oh yeah, we all do need a back to tank.
I've thought of that. I've thought of that, Jeff. I think I'm thinking this could really be cool.
But more money could have been made, more lives saved. And Fennec says, well, we'd be out of work then. But Boba's tired of their kind dying because of the idiocy of others. Getting
he said we're smarter than they are. We're smarter.
He says it's time we take our shot.
Time we take our shot. And Fennec, again with the raised eyebrow, says our shot.
Exactly.
Because at this point they haven't really, she's free and can leave at any time. So he makes her an offer.
Yep.
He says,
let me make you an offer you can't refuse.
Yes, exactly.
So Boba says, I need brains and muscle if I'm going to start a house, and Fennec has both. She kind of says it's tempting, but she values her freedom and offers to do jobs for him, instead. And then Boba offers her loyalty, which is something that no client has ever offered to her.
Right.
He says you'll get a cut of the successes,
which changes the equation considerably for Fennec.
No doubt.
I don't, with Fennec, with the dialogue that we've seen, in this episode, I don't know that Fennec has ever had any other kind of relationship other than the client bounty hunter, bounty hunter for hire relationship. I don't think she's ever had anybody who showed her loyalty or who actually valued her, her skills other than just to go out and get somebody that they needed.
Based off of what we know from her, we've seen her in The Mandalorian, we've seen her in this show, and we've seen her in a couple episodes of
Pam.
An episode or two of The Bad Batch as well. So based off of what we know of her, she's master assassin. Like we know.
She's just
really how she got there, but this is where she is.
Yeah, make it and as the series plural go on, we may get some more information on Fennec Shan. I think we will. I think we'll get some more backstory on her.
But Boba says she'll get a cut of the successes, and he pledges his life to protect hers. And she says, living with... Go ahead. Yeah. Says, living with the Tuscans has made you soft. And Boba says, no, it's made me strong. You can only get so far without a tribe, which is what Pam said earlier, which I thought was a great quote.
Oh, yeah.
We see a flashback to Boba shooting Ben Fortuna and taking the throne, as we saw at the end credit scene of the last episode of season 2 of Mandalorian. And then Boba wakes up in the back to tank. The dressing droid congratulates him on being completely healed. So finally, he's completely healed. Which I've maintained up to this point. Thinking back to the first episode of this season, where they struggle fighting that group of assassins.
Right.
I've been thinking this whole time he's not 100%. So finally, he's completely healed. But Fennec says, "What about the scars on the inside?" And Boba said, "Those take longer." Which is accurate.
Yeah, and given all that we've seen and all that we know of his history and recent history, he's got a lot of scarring.
Oh yeah,
he's been through a lot at this point. Ugh.
Yeah, if you see Mace Windu take your dad's head off, it's that's just part one of the trauma that he's experienced over time. No telling what he's and he also fast forward to this show, seeing showing up and the whole Tuscan Raider tribe is wiped out that he's bonded with for years. And so I think that's the other thing. All this stuff happens for us in a few minutes, but apparently this was a substantial period of time because he says years, referring to when he was in years ago whenever I was in the Sarlacc pit. Right. Everybody thought I was dead. So again, this is just an hour, a few hours for us, but it's years for him. But he asked about the major domo. Fennec says he's singing like a yuzum. I don't know what a yuzum is, but I thought it was funny. I love the sayings, so I always try to write it down.
I do too.
So they give a name to the speeder bike, the android speeder bike gang. She calls them the mods. So we've got our own mods here, but they're moderators.
You just need a bike, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
so she says the mods are sweeping the streets for him. They'll find him. Boba's like, I need my armor. She's like, let them do their work. But Boba wants to show his face in the streets because power hates a vacuum.
That's what he says. And she, Finnick is always there to say, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
And he always answers her with a definitive, with power hates a vacuum. He always has a definitive reason, So Boba is not one to make decisions, off the cuff or lightly. Yeah. He's a very thoughtful, methodical person, I think.
Yeah. He's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers.
And so it's saying,
It's the saying, our saying. I'm sure they have the Star Wars universe probably has some sort of saying.
Right.
But next thing, it cuts to Garsa Fwip's cantina, sanctuary, as she referred to it as. We see a Star Tours looking droid, kind of DJ Rex looking droid, dealing sabacc, which is pretty neat.
Oh, hey, BDF.
I forgot to mention him in the first episode. Welcome in, Keith. Thank you. You're too kind. But we see the Trandoshans must be winning big because they're celebrating. They're at the sabacc table, and Chrysanthemum is sitting there just fuming, and it looks like he's had a few drinks.
Yeah.
And his knuckle dusters are lighting up with the kind of electricity.
Mm-hmm. The knuckle dusters, don't you know that they're like brass knuckles?
Yeah.
They look like they have some sort of electrical charge. Which
the Trandoshans. So the reason that Chrysanthemum hates Trandoshans, and this is from other source material, is because the Trandoshans or some Trandoshans captured Chrysanthemum, and he was taken to the Zonti brothers, and they turned him into a gladiator. But don't feel too bad for Chrysanthemum because he tried to bait the Trandoshans by beating up another Wookiee, and he tried to beat up this Wookiee so they'd find that Wookiee, and so he could get the jump on them. So he's not a noble character. He's been he was exiled from Kashyyyk. So he
has been exiled. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, he's mad just looking at these Trandoshans.
Mm-hmm. He sits there and watches for a little while, and then he finally
keeps taking a swig of his drink. But he's also, the other thing I was thinking about too is he's kind of sitting there fuming, watching them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was also likely embarrassed by his recent capture. I guarantee word is spread. He probably wants to remind others how dangerous he is. Give me just a second. I'll let you pick it up.
Sure. No worries. Chrysanthemum, he's had a few, and he's just kind of sitting there getting more angry, I think. And finally, as he's watching these Trandoshans play whatever game they're playing, he's had enough. He walks over, and one of them in particular, he picks him up. He's got him. And the Trandoshan is terrified. The Trandoshan probably knows who Chrysanthemum is, and so he is just really terrified. So as all of this, people in the bar, it causes quite a stir. People in the bar back away. It's like fight, and everybody kind of clears out. And so Garsa Fwip, then this is bad for business. This is no place. Garsa Fwip tries to intervene, and it's really kind of funny because Garsa Fwip walks over and says, basically she's trying to appeal to his ego to get him to stop.
It's so funny.
It's really funny because it's a pretty long soliloquy.
Oh yeah, she says, and I wrote it all down. She says, I think you've made your point. I remember your years in the pit. I've never seen a more impressive display of martial prowess, and you were a legend. And you, in the name Chrysanthemum, drew the crowds by the thousands.
Yeah, it was.
Your knuckle dusters are more feared than blasters. Yeah. You've met every challenge. You've won every trophy. Is it not beneath you to dismember this unfortunate Trandoshan? Thousands
And
once
it's all
cheered a
so
display.
grandiose.
Yeah.
You know, she's
Oh, it's great. But those days have passed. In this more civilized place, in this more civilized times, what was once celebrated in the bloodlust of the arena is now seen as horror and cruelty. There. Isn't that better? And you've nothing left to prove. You are a champion. You are above such pettiness. to which, and it's funny because it keeps cutting to the Trandoshan. The Trandoshan's scared for his life. He's hoping that, and he's hoping that she's going to bail him out.
Right.
And he just looks super nervous as he's being held up in the air off the ground by Chrysanthemum by the arms. But yeah, it's funny. The Trandoshan smashed a bottle over his head, and that's the one that ends up in the bad spot. But it's so funny because they're like, you're thinking, I was like, okay, maybe she got through to him, and then
I thought the whole time, I thought, nah, dude, this is wasted breath. He's toast.
And so she calls him Santo, which again trying to endear herself here. She really tried.
She pulls out all the stops.
She does.
She literally pulls out all the stops because she maybe she didn't want to clean up the mess. I don't know. But
she even offers to cover his bar tab. She's like, "You've run up quite the tab. If you just put him down and release him." But he takes a second and then growls and rips off the Trandoshan's left arm and drops him on the floor.
Which is actually a recurring theme in Star Wars. The ripping of arms.
Limbs.
The falling from extremely high places. The cutting off of hands. All themes. Yeah.
So
I knew that. As LeFou says, I saw that one coming.
So the crowd's shocked and everything, and it's funny because Boba, walks in and he kind of sees the whole fight between Chrysanthemum and the Trandoshans, and he just stands there and observes. One of them gets thrown into the plant that's next to him, and anyway, he just stands there and observes the whole thing. Chrysanthemum, throws his credits to one of the attendants, and covers his tab. And on his way out, he growls at Boba and leaves, and the crowd's just shocked. And Garsha Boba says to Garsha, it was worth a shot. And she just shrugs and, yeah, exactly, Pam. Takes a breath and rolls her eyes and tells the Max Rebo band to crank back up.
Yeah. Moving on.
So Boba follows after Chrysanthemum. And offers him a job, to which Chrysanthemum kind of raises his eyebrows and apparently obliges.
And we did talk about that. I said something about that. I thought that at some point Chrysanthemum would be added to Boba's, to Boba's entourage, and he is a powerful ally.
Oh yeah, no doubt,
and a wild card, I might add. He Chrysanthemum is, I would bet. Were I betting woman, I would say that Fennec is probably in. I think that Fennec, is trustworthy. We don't know about Chrysanthemum. He's kind of a wild card. Yeah. Yeah. He really is. You like Chrysanthemum, Pam?
So another fun fact for those that are, there's actually a comic scene where Chrysanthemum fights Obi-Wan. So Chrysanthemum did work for Jabba the Hutt previously, and this is all stuff that happens outside of what we've seen on screen. So you never know how much of it they actually include. But Obi-Wan actually, it's one of the last times apparently in the comics Obi-Wan uses his lightsaber, because he pulls it out and slashes a scar on the Chrysanthemum. That's what happens again. That's external to happening in the show. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate you being here. So anyway, next scene is they cut to Fennec addressing the captains that were under Jabba, but they didn't serve Bib Fortuna. But they did try to take Bib's place. And so Fennec's like, you were unsuccessful until Boba shoved up, and they could profit under him if they just listen.
Exactly. Well, and so that they're all the scene is that they are in the meeting room, the tribute room, where the throne is, and the table.
Jabba's throne room.
You realize now Boba's throne room, and you realize that they're sitting on top. The table is sitting on top of the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah,
great.
The Rancor's pit. Yeah,
the Sarlacc. Rancor,
yeah.
the Rancor pit. So, you realize at some point that the Rancor is probably going to, make a showing, and at just the right time, he does. So,
yeah, it's a perfect power flex. It is. Boba says, "I don't want your territories. I don't want to claim them. I don't expect any tribute or quarter." He makes a proposal: join me against the Pike Syndicate. We want to gather all the four families together.
Right.
And basically form a temporary defensive alliance until the Pikes are vanquished. And it's funny because the Trandoshans, like he says, the Pikes are here and they're profiting off of spice trade.
Right.
And the Trandoshan family leader says, "Well, we profit from spice sales." But one of the family leaders threatens him as a daimyo, and that it's the ultimate power flex because he's like, what would stop us from killing you and assuming the position, the title of daimyo?
Why do you get to be daimyo?
Yeah.
Why should we listen to you?
And that's when the Rancor rears up and growls and
sticks up.
The claw comes through the grate.
Claw comes through the grate, and they're all like, ooh, okay. Either they didn't know about the Rancor or they thought he was dead.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and Boba never, he just lets it stand as a threat. He just says, sit back down. So they get the message without Boba saying there's
he doesn't have to say anything.
And I'm going to feed you to my Rancor unless you do what I say. That there's no need to even say that. That goes without. They get the point.
Exactly.
They get the point.
It stands for itself. Boba drops a little tomahawk steak through the grate for the Rancor. And another great line from Boba is he says, "Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?"
Yes, and this is a classic. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
My friend. Exactly.
Move. Because they have to know that eventually the Pikes will take over the planet.
Yeah.
And then, and then their territories will probably be taken away.
Exactly.
The planet.
Yeah. They won't stop with Mos Espa. That's the point one of them tries to make is they've only threatened your territory, but you have to know they're not going to stop there.
Right. So Boba Fett is, he's appealing to their more base natures.
Yeah.
of
their self-interest. Exactly.
Self-interest. Exactly.
Pam, that's a great call. Yeah. I saw the under the chin gesture as well.
Yeah.
Us too, Keith.
Yeah.
But basically, Boba says, let's form a defensive alliance until they're vanquished.
He says, and think about this, for them, this is a good deal because Boba says, I will handle this. All I ask of you is that you don't oppose me and you don't form an alliance with the Pikes.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that, for them, I'm thinking this
sweet deal. Yeah. You don't have to spill any of your own blood. You don't have to exhaust any of your own forces. And so, if they can just here? Exactly, as long as they don't betray them
for them,
then it's a sweet
and
deal.
it's in their own self-interest to not betray him. So,
and they all go around the table and they all find the terms acceptable. He's going to do it himself. Get rid of this threat. So, all I have to do is nothing. But we saw the family leaders leave. Yeah. Boba trusts them
basically.
Yeah. So Fennec says, do you trust them? And Boba says, I trust them to work in their own self-interest. He says, either way, we have to prepare for war. To which Fennec says, how much treasure do we have in the reserve? And he said, I have plenty of credits. Yeah, I'll abide. Exactly. That's a quote from that leader. who seemed to be the most argumentative and challenging of the bunch.
That's true. That's true.
Dean.
Yeah. The others seem to kind of be waiting for his reaction.
Yeah, they're a little more tactful,
right.
for sure.
They were.
But he definitely challenged him. But had plenty of credits, but they're short on muscle. And Phoenix says, credits can buy muscle if you know where to look. And that's where we hear, and it's great whenever they do stuff like this.
It is.
But you hear some of the vibes, some of the music from the intro song to The Mandalorian. Yeah, and so it's a definite tease.
Theme song.
Yeah. So right. I haven't seen the next chapter yet, but I can only assume based off the tease. Yeah. I can only assume based off the tease that Mando's coming, because why else would you play his theme?
Yeah.
So it's zooming out shot from the palace with the Mando, little bit of the Mando song playing before the end credit scene. Theme music picks up again. But again, this show is picking up at just the right time. Yeah, that's what everybody's told me. My buddy Josh, my brother-in-law Jared.
Oh yeah, it's I've watched it 3 times already.
Yeah.
I watched it 3 times already.
Yeah,
once with Jeff.
And so anyway,
even Jeff loved
everybody's
this.
reaching out.
Yeah, Jeff loved this. This scene too. You know, he said, "Oh yeah," which Dad never says. You know.
Very much looking forward to chapter 5. I haven't watched it yet. Because again, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, and I like to see if I can predict things that'll happen. But good feeling.
Wait till you're not distracted.
Yeah.
Wait till you can sit down, get the popcorn and the Coke or whatever, and sit down and really take it in, because a lot happens. There's a lot to it that you really want to pay attention to, so that you get the full meal deal, as they say. All right. But yeah.
Well, that covers that episode. So very much looking forward to talking about chapter 5. I've already heard plenty of buzz from Mom and other people, so looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Thanks, Steve.
It's one of it's probably one of the best episodes it's definitely the best episode I think that they've done in this series.
Yeah.
And really, you should have that to look forward to. Yeah, we are excited. We are excited to talk about that one too, Pam. And I think we're going to have to really unpack. There's a lot to unpack, so we're excited to talk about that one.
All right. Let's see here. We want to go ahead cover channel news and everything. So check us out next week. Same time, same place, 12 o'clock p.m. Central, 1 o'clock Eastern, Thursday. We'll be talking about Chapter 5 of The Mandalorian. Also, we go live every Tuesday night as well for our Hitchhiker Chat, where we talk about Disney news at 9 o'clock p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday nights. Let's see here. Throw together a lunch. Grab your lunch and join us next week talking about Chapter 5.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
And let's see here.
There's a new short up on the channel. Thank you, Tina McNeil. Took that video for us on one of her trips. Kylo Ren in Rise of the Resistance, the attraction that's in Galaxy's Edge, and it's a neat clip. I really appreciate you doing that for me, Tina. We try to help each other out as much as we can. I really appreciate that. So that's a cool short up. And also, I have another short up. Resistance Commander Bone was sent on a mission in that short. So check those out. Those are fun.
We will be talking about Book of Boba Fett again next week. Check out the shorts that Mom just mentioned. Jillian will be going live on the 12th for What's Brewing with the Bones. So she'll give her best tips for budgeting your next Disney trip. 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 Eastern, on February 12th. You want to pick up with the
we had a fun show on Tuesday, guys. Too.
It was a great time.
Spider-Man: No Way Home. We did a review, and really a good discussion. Great chat. We have a lot to say about that movie. A lot of people have a lot to say about it because it's just. I think it stands at number 6 box office takes for all time. So
Yeah,
which
that's
is
crazy.
pretty impressive.
Especially considering, there's still probably a decent number of people that haven't gotten out due to potential COVID concerns. So,
well, according to Adam, the entire Chinese market has not even been has not even seen. So yeah,
that's
so
crazy.
That's
There's no telling how high it could go once that market potentially opens up.
I expect it to move up even from number 6. I did want to say, guys, too. I'm just checking IMDb. If you're not familiar with imdb.com, which is Internet Movie Database, it's a great place to go to look up any TV show, movie,
actor,
you can get all the cast, actor. Check out imdb.com. It's a good resource. And imdb.com gives this chapter 4 of the Book of Boba Fett 7.9 stars.
There we go.
So this is the highest ranked,
by the people.
IMDb chapter. So, and then next week we will get chapter 5, which is entitled "Return of the Mandalorian." So,
ooh, okay. Well, that's a dead giveaway.
So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they hinted at it. There's no question that they hinted at it. That's the title.
They did. Yeah.
So,
and that episode, guys, on IMDb, the chapter 5, which we'll cover next week, gets 9.5 stars out of 10.
All right, sweet.
IMDb. So so that gives us a little little segue into next week. So join us for that. We're really looking forward to talking about that one. Let's see if there was any other anything else that I had in my I think that's all I have in my notes on that. Let's see. That will be we'll do that episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett Thursday, February 3rd. That'll be next Thursday, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. And absolutely, Tina. Absolutely. We really appreciate it. And guys, and I did want to point out that I do have a I have a little purple dragon sitting behind me. This is the popcorn bucket. Again, thank you to Ed and Heather from Texas Takes for sending me that popcorn bucket. This is the really popular one that people have been clamoring for in Epcot, and he's really cute. And I appreciate you guys sending that. Not necessary. I'm always happy to help as much as I can on Mod for their channel. But thank you, Ed and Heather, for sending me the little purple dinosaur. I did not expect to get one. So yes, it's little Will. It is, yeah. So William is so doing double duty, guys. He really is. But at any rate, we appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for being here. And if you have comments, if you're watching on the replay, thanks so much for being on Team Replay. If you have comments about the show, by all means, let us know. We appreciate all the comments that people have put so far. Dennis, you always have some good input, and we really appreciate your input. And we just love all of those pieces of information. There's so much to the Star Wars universe. There's so many fan theories, and YouTube is full of them. There's just a lot of Star Wars information out there, and we appreciate it when you clue us into something that we may not already know, because it's all good. Do you, Pam? That is so cool. Yeah, it was great of them. Yeah, it was so great of Ed and Heather. We appreciate it. Yes, and I did see Carlos's post. He's got a bucket too. But yeah, we appreciate it, guys. This is fun. This is fun.
Thanks
we love to talk Star Wars.
Aunt Susan and Aunt Joy, Jillian, Kylie, and other family members. Thanks to Jonathan Chong, Dean the Turkey Lexter, Tina DCS, Pam's Fam, Kevin Theme Park Adventure, Jedi Sensei, This Our Dream, BDF, and Dennis Algassi. Thanks everybody for supporting us, hanging out, chatting with us about Book of Boba Fett. We appreciate you hanging out with us and support us. Big shout out to hashtag Team Replay, and Lisa, Keith, and Joey are always great about watching our Team Replay. Let us know. Leave a comment if you watch on the replay. But shout out to those that are watching Ghost Mode 2 that are busy or maybe working and just kind of have us up in the background or hadn't seen the episode yet. But either way, we appreciate your support.
Absolutely.
And big shout out to the mods for keeping our chat family friendly as well.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Let's see. Did you already
do modifiers?
Yeah,
our modifiers.
Did you already talk about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and everything?
No, I hadn't got that far. Check us out. Guys, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And
did you cover Stickermule in the live place?
I have not. I
TubeBuddy. Oh, okay, sorry. So liveplace.com is basically a TV guide listing for family-friendly live streams. Check out Dean's YouTube channel, Dreamers Empire. Check out our partner channel, Monarch Moments, and a lot of great channels in the chat as well. So check them out. I think Dean, the Turkey Lecture, may have hit 100 subs. I think I saw that notification pop up. So congratulations to Dean.
We forgot to
break out the train whistle real quick for you, Dean.
Yeah.
So anybody that's got headphones in, loud noise warning in 3, 2, 1.
Yay!
All right. Yay! Congratulations, Dean.
100 subs. Go check out Dean the Turkey Lecture, guys, if you haven't. A great podcast as well. But check out Dean's channel. A lot of fun. Dean, and just a very close friend of ours. And we love you. You will not be sorry. Get over there. Check out his content. Give him a sub. And also our partner channel, Monarch Moments. Thanks for dropping that link, Jonathan. Monarch Moments has a really great channel as well. Be sure and check them out. Disneyland content, guys. They're West Coasters. So, we consider our home park to be Disney World. And but Monarch Moments is on the left coast. They're in California. So they have tons of live streams, guys. Hours and hours and hours of live streams of Disneyland.
Yeah.
So check them out. We really love them.
Snow White's Enchanted Wish, Adventures Campus. So lots of neat stuff to see.
Tons of stuff.
On the Monarchs channel.
Dean is going live in a few minutes. So
cool. So check it out.
Yeah. If somebody wants to drop that link, or Dean, go ahead and drop your link and head on over to Dean's 100 subscriber celebration. Cool.
Check out TubeBuddy if you haven't already. If you're a YouTube creator looking to grow your channel, it gives you it gives you helpful resources like viewing trends, suggesting searchable keywords and tags and titles. Tracks channel data will help you grow your channel. Basic version's free. The paid version for channels that have less than 1,000 like us, it's lower than it was for those above that number. But it gives us both a free month if you use our affiliate link in the description below. Also, too, if you're looking to get low cost, good quality promotional items, check out Stickermule. We got buttons. We got we have stickers and magnets too. So check out Stickermule and use our link below if you decide to do an order, because it'll give us both a $10 credit. So big shout out to those that have already done it as well. Yeah. Thanks, Pam, for being here. Let's see. Remember, if you could dream it, you can do it. We go live every Tuesday night at 9:00 p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern for Hitchhiker Chat. Join us next week, same time, same place, for Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 5, Fett Fever. 12 o'clock p.m. Central, 1 o'clock
Looking forward
Eastern.
To that one. Looking forward to that one.
Like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already, so you get notifications when we go live or drop videos. Hang out with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to reach out to us, you can DM us on Instagram or email us at thehitchhikingbones@gmail.com.
Yeah, we love to get mail, guys. Shout us out.
All right. Anything else you want to mention, Mom?
I can't think of a thing. Guys, head over the link. Jonathan and Tina, thank you for dropping Dean's link. Head over to his 100 subscriber stream and get to know Dean the Turkey Lecture if you don't already. Again, we appreciate our modifiers for dropping those links. Always appreciate you guys. We know, we love you, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Our next live stream will be Tuesday night for Hitchhiker Chat, and that'll be at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. So, thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it.
All right. Anything else?
Can't think of a thing.
All right. Hope you all have a great week. Yeah, go check out. Go to the link that Dean dropped for his 100 subscriber celebration. Celebrate with him. Check out his channel if you're interested. Go ahead and drop a sub. Dean's a good guy. It produces fun content, so check him out. But I hope everybody has a great weekend.
Definitely.
I hope everybody's doing well. May the force be with you all. Exactly, Dean. And remember, at the Hitchhiking Bones YouTube channel, there's always room for one more. So please
hurry back.
Bye,
Till the
everybody.
spire, travelers.
Till the spire. May the force be with you always.